Who really built the Egyptian pyramids? Were they slaves? Or is there a different narrative that history has overlooked? Popular culture and historical narratives often paint a picture of enslaved individuals laboring under the scorching desert sun to construct these magnificent structures. These tales are as enduring as the pyramids themselves, often fueled by conspiracy theories involving ancient aliens, advanced civilizations with forgotten technologies, and even secret societies like the Freemasons. Despite valiant attempts by scientists and scholars to debunk these baseless ideas, they persist, overshadowing the real story of the pyramid builders. The most compelling evidence points towards a different truth, that the pyramid workers were not slaves, but paid locals who ate extremely well. This is not a theory born out of thin air, but grounded in archaeological findings and historical records. So, let's debunk the myth of slavery and delve into the lives of the pyramid workers. In 1990, archaeologists stumbled upon humble grave sites not far from the tombs of the pharaohs. What did these grave sites reveal about the pyramid workers? A few steps from the grand tombs of the pharaohs lay the final resting places of the hands that built them. These grave sites were not marked with grandeur, but the artifacts within them told a tale of lives lived with dignity. Alongside the remains of the workers were goods deemed necessary for the journey to the afterlife. This was a courtesy unlikely to be extended to slaves, suggesting that these workers were not enslaved, but compensated laborers. Beyond these grave sites, archaeologists uncovered a sprawling complex known as Hayt el-Ghurab. This site is believed to have been a part-time home for the pyramid workers, possibly housing as many as 1,600 individuals at a time. Hayt el-Ghurab was likely part of a larger port city along the Nile River, where supplies and construction materials were imported from across the region. The remnants of this complex painted a vivid picture of the workers' lives. Among the rubble, archaeologists found evidence of large barracks where the workers rested after a hard day's work. But perhaps the most compelling evidence of the workers' quality of life was found in the remains of their meals. The workers were well fed, with a diet abundant in bread and meat, including cattle, goat, sheep, and fish. This diet was far from the meager sustenance one might expect for slaves, suggesting instead a workforce that was well cared for. These humble grave sites and the sprawling complex of Hayt el-Ghurab provide a fascinating glimpse into the lives of the pyramid workers. They were not slaves, but paid locals who were treated with a level of respect and care. Their work was hard, but the fruits of their labor were monumental, their legacy immortalized in stone. These findings indicate that pyramid workers were not enslaved, but were part of a well-organized workforce. The pyramid workers left their mark quite literally on the buildings they created. Their graffiti tells us more about their lives and work. Hidden on the blocks inside the pyramids, the workers' graffiti was never intended to be seen. These marks, written in Egyptian, are like whispers from the past, revealing the names of various work gangs such as the Drunkards of Menkora and the followers of the powerful White Crown of Khufu. These names, echoing through time, were inspired by the pharaohs of their era. Other marks hint at places within Egypt, signifying the towns and regions from which these workers hailed. Some even serve as mascots, representing a division of workers with images of animals like ibises. All these hieroglyphics create a tapestry of information, giving archaeologists glimpses into where these workers came from, what their lives were like, and who they toiled for. The graffiti doesn't just narrate their origins and daily lives, but also speaks volumes about their work culture. These workers weren't nameless entities, but organized groups, each with their unique identity. They left their signatures on the very blocks they shaped, a testament to their labor and possibly a hint of pride in the monumental task they were a part of. This graffiti, hidden in plain sight, paints a picture of a workforce that was organized, named, and perhaps even proud of their work. So, what does the lack of signs of slavery or foreign workers suggest about the pyramid construction? Well, it seems to tell us a completely different story. Archaeologists haven't unearthed any signs of forced labor or foreign workers. Instead, they've found evidence of labor tax collection throughout ancient Egypt. Some researchers even suggest workers might have rotated through construction tours, somewhat akin to a form of national service. In light of this evidence, it's time to rewrite the narrative about who built the Egyptian pyramids.